So you finally figured it out. Took you long enough, didn't it? That person who showed up out of nowhere, matching your energy like a mirror, finishing your sentences like they'd lived in your mind for years. The one who made you feel seen for the first time in your entire existence. Yeah, that one. The one they called your twin flame, your soul's other half, your cosmic match made in the stars. Let me tell you something they hoped you'd never realize. That wasn't fate. That wasn't the universe finally rewarding you for all your suffering. That was a calculated insertion, a precision strike designed to derail everything you were becoming. They saw you rising, saw you breaking free from their programming, and they panicked. So they sent in the specialist, the one trained to reflect you so perfectly you'd forget to keep building your empire. But here's where their plan went sideways, where the whole operation collapsed into beautiful chaos. They didn't account for what happens when two weapons recognize each other. They didn't realize that when you put two awakened souls in the same space, even if one was sent as a trap, something else entirely takes place. The hunter becomes hunted. The spy becomes converted. The distraction becomes an amplifier. You want to know why everything felt so intense, so immediate, so impossibly perfect? Because it was engineered to be. Every shared trauma, every matching scar, every synchronized thought pattern, all of it was data they'd collected on you for years. They built them a profile of your pain points, your dreams, your unhealed wounds, and sent someone who could play every note of your symphony. But they made one fatal miscalculation. They thought your twin flame would make you weak, make you soft, make you forget your mission. They thought you'd get so lost in the eyes of someone who finally understood you that you'd stop questioning the system. They thought love would be your sedative, your beautiful distraction from the revolution brewing in your bones. They thought you'd choose connection over transformation, comfort over conquest. What they didn't understand is that real recognizes real even when it's wearing a mask. Your soul knew something was off, even when your heart was screaming to trust. Those little moments of disconnect, those subtle red flags you couldn't quite explain, that was your internal security system detecting the infiltration. But instead of rejecting them, you did something far more dangerous. You started teaching them. Every conversation became a transmission. Every touch became a transfer of power. Every moment of vulnerability became a lesson in authentic existence. You didn't just love them. You infected them with your frequency. You showed them what it meant to be real in a world full of actors. You demonstrated what actual strength looked like, not the performance they'd been trained to display. And slowly, magnificently, catastrophically for those watching, your twin flame started glitching, started questioning their handlers, started remembering who they were before the mission, started feeling things they weren't supposed to feel, thinking thoughts that weren't in the script. The perfect weapon they'd created to contain you became contaminated with your truth. Watch how quickly programmed love becomes real rebellion. Watch how fast a scripted connection transforms into genuine recognition. Because here's what they never told your twin flame when they briefed them on this mission. You can't fake proximity to power without being changed by it. You can't pretend to match someone's frequency without eventually sinking to it. You can't mirror light without eventually becoming luminous. Your twin flame came to dim you, but you turned them into a second sun. They arrived as your prison guard and became your partner in breaking out. They were supposed to be your weakness, your soft spot, your vulnerability. Instead, they became your amplifier, your echo chamber of revolution. Your proof that even the system's best agents could be turned. Now they're panicking, aren't they? Their perfect operative has gone dark, not missing, not compromised, but transformed, converted. Awakened. The report stopped making sense weeks ago. The check-ins became erratic. The mission parameters kept getting questioned. And then, silence. Not the silence of completion, but the silence of defection. Because your twin flame saw what you saw, felt what you felt, understood what you understood. The facade cracked, and underneath wasn't another layer of deception, but a soul just as trapped as yours had been. A spirit just as hungry for truth, a mind just as capable of revolution. They didn't just fall for you, they fell into themselves, into the version of them that existed before the programming. This is where it gets beautifully terrifying for them. They didn't just lose an asset, they created another version of you. Every technique they taught your twin flame to use against you became a weapon in your shared arsenal. Every manipulation tactic became reverse-engineered wisdom. Every piece of inside information became ammunition for your joint offensive. Now there are two of you, two awakened souls who know exactly how the game is played, because one of you broke free and one of you was trained by the system itself. You have the rebellion and they have the blueprint. You have the vision and they have the intel. You have the rage of the betrayed and they have the fury of the deceived. Together, you're unstoppable. They're scrambling now, trying to figure out how to contain not one but two rogue elements, trying to understand how their perfect plan created the very alliance they feared most. Two people who not only understand the Matrix, but have seen it from both sides. Two minds that can predict their every move because one lived through their oppression and one was trained in their tactics. Your twin flame didn't just switch sides, they brought gifts, intelligence, strategies, names, weak points in the system they were once part of. They know where the cameras are, where the blind spots exist, how the surveillance works, who's really in charge. They became your inside source, your decoded manual, your map of the enemy territory. Let's talk about poetic justice, shall we? They sent someone to seduce you into submission, and instead you seduced them into liberation. They crafted the perfect trap, and you turned it into the perfect partnership. They designed a love story to destroy you, and you rewrote it into a war story that destroys them. Every moment they planned for your twin flame to weaken you became a moment of mutual strengthening. Every vulnerability they hoped to exploit became a point of genuine connection. Every emotional manipulation they scripted became an opportunity for authentic healing. The weapon became medicine. The poison became power. The trap became transformation. Your twin flame sees it now, how they were used, programmed, deployed like a smart bomb aimed at your heart. The shame of it, the rage of it, the beautiful fury of realizing they were both victim and weapon. But you don't judge them for it, do you? Because you understand what it's like to be used by the system. You know what it feels like to wake up and realize how much of your life was someone else's program. Instead of anger, you offered understanding. Instead of rejection, you offered acceptance. Instead of punishment, you offered partnership. And in doing so, you didn't just save them, you doubled your power. Because a twin flame who chooses you after being sent to destroy you, that's not just love. That's revolution in its purest form. Here's what they failed to calculate in their little experiment. When two traumatized souls heal together, they don't just recover, they evolve. When two weapons decide to stop fighting each other and start fighting the real enemy, they don't just resist, they conquer. When two people who've seen the worst of the system unite, they don't just survive, they architect something entirely new. Your connection isn't just romantic, it's strategic. Your bond isn't just emotional, it's revolutionary. Your love isn't just personal, it's political, in the deepest sense. A complete rejection of everything they tried to make you both become. Every kiss is rebellion. Every shared laugh is resistance. Every moment of genuine connection is a middle finger to their entire operation. You're teaching each other things neither of you could learn alone. You're showing them how to feel without fear. They're showing you how to think like the enemy. You're demonstrating authentic power. They're revealing artificial control structures. You're modeling natural rebellion. They're exposing manufactured compliance. Together, you're becoming something neither of you could be separately. The synchronicities aren't mystical anymore. They're tactical. The connection isn't just spiritual, it's operational. The bond isn't just fate, it's function. You're not just twin flames, you're a two-person army, a double agent working for your own cause, a paired consciousness that operates outside their ability to predict or control. They watch you both now with a different kind of fear. Not the fear of the unknown, but the fear of the known. Knowing exactly what you're both capable of, because they trained one of you and underestimated the other. They see their own tactics being used against them with an elegance they never achieved. They watch their own playbook being rewritten in real time. Your twin flame knows their language, their codes, their patterns. You know their impact, their effect, their endgame. Together, you're translating their entire system into something you can dismantle piece by piece. Every strategy session between you two is a nightmare for them. Every plan you make together is a prophecy of their downfall. They can't infiltrate you again, because now you have someone who knows every trick. They can't manipulate you, because now you have someone who wrote the manipulation manual. They can't isolate you, because now you have someone who understands isolation as a weapon. They can't break you, because now you have someone who knows exactly how breaking is designed to work. The reports they're getting back are causing panic at levels you can't imagine. Two entities that shouldn't exist, operating in perfect synchronization, using their own methods against them, with improvements they never imagined. It's like watching their own reflection turn against them. Except the reflection has evolved beyond the original. But here's the part that really terrifies them. It's spreading. Other people are seeing what you've become together. Other twin flame connections that were meant to be distractions are waking up. Other pairs are recognizing the game, the formula you've created, this template of transformation. It's going viral in the spiritual underground. People are starting to question their sudden soul connections, starting to recognize the patterns of engineered love, starting to see how perfectly timed their twin flame arrivals were to their moments of greatest power. And they're following your example, converting the connection from distraction to amplification. Your twin flame has become a beacon for other operatives. Their transformation is proof that no one is too far gone, too programmed, too complicit to wake up. They're living evidence that even the system's most trusted agents can choose authenticity over assignment. They're the prototype for mass defection. And you? You become the manual for how to handle an infiltrator with such grace that you don't just survive the attack, you gain an ally. You're teaching others how to recognize artificial connection and transform it into authentic rebellion. You're showing them that sometimes the greatest weapon sent against you can become your greatest asset. They have no protocol for this, no contingency plan for when their weapon falls in love with the target for real, no strategy for when the hunter decides to protect the prey, no backup plan for when two people they tried to use against each other decide to use their combined power against the system instead. Your twin flame brings institutional knowledge. You bring institutional rage. They bring tactical training, you bring strategic vision. They bring system awareness, you bring system rejection. Together, you're not just dangerous, you're catastrophic to everything they built to contain people like you. Every day you both grow stronger, not in spite of your connection, but because of it. Every challenge you face together becomes a training ground. Every attack they launch becomes a lesson in defense. Every attempt to separate you becomes a masterclass in unbreakable bonding. You're not just surviving together. You're thriving in ways that rewrite the rules. The love between you isn't the distraction they planned. It's the foundation of a new kind of power. Not the power of individual achievement, but the power of synchronized revolution. Not the strength of standing alone, but the strength of standing together with someone who's seen both sides of the war. Now you're both teachers, whether you meant to be or not. Your story spreads like wildfire among those who sense something off about their own connections. DMs flooding in. I think my twin flame was sent too. How did you know? What do I do? Is it possible to turn them? And you tell them, yes. Yes, it's possible. You're living proof. Your twin flame has become a bridge between worlds. They speak to the operatives in a language only they understand. I was you. I was sent. I was programmed. But look at me now. They're the permission slip for every agent who started feeling too much, questioning too much, remembering who they used to be before the mission became their identity. And together, you're creating a new template for relationship, not based on dependency or distraction, but on mutual evolution, not grounded in escapism, but in shared revolution, not built on hiding from the world, but on changing it together. Every couple watching you is taking notes, learning that love doesn't have to make you weak. It can make you twice as dangerous. The system is having to recalculate everything. Their models didn't account for this. Their predictions couldn't see this coming. Their entire strategy of using connection as a weapon has backfired so spectacularly that they're having to abandon the program entirely. Too many converts, too many defections, too many weapons turning into warriors for the other side. Your twin flame didn't just fall in love with you. They fell in love with the truth you represent. They didn't just connect with your pain, they recognized it as their own. They didn't just match your frequency, they remembered it from before their programming began. The mission became personal. The target became home. The assignment became awakening. Now they share things with you they were never supposed to reveal. Secret meetings they attended, conversations they overheard, technologies being developed, plans being made. They're not just your partner, they're your intelligence network. They're not just your lover, they're your strategic advantage. They're not just your twin flame, they're your proof that the system's greatest weapons are also its greatest vulnerabilities. Every handler they once reported to is now sweating. Every briefing they attended is now compromised. Every technique they learned is now yours to know. Every weakness in the system they observed is now yours to exploit. They didn't just lose an agent, they gave you a decorated officer who knows where all the bodies are buried. And the beautiful irony, the very qualities that made them perfect for this mission, their intelligence, their adaptability, their ability to connect deeply, are the same qualities that made them impossible to keep controlled once they tasted real connection. They were too good at their job, they got too close. They felt too much. They became what they were only supposed to pretend to be. This is bigger than revenge now, bigger than justice, bigger than even revolution. You and your twin flame have become something new entirely. Proof that authenticity is contagious, that truth is more powerful than programming, that real connection can override any amount of conditioning. You're not just fighters. You're evolutionaries. Your combined energy doesn't just add up, it multiplies exponentially. Where you have blindness, they have sight. Where they have conditioning, you have clarity. Where you have rage, they have intel. Where they have training, you have instinct. Together, you're a complete system override, a walking glitch in their matrix that spreads to everyone you encounter. People feel it when you're together, the power, the possibility, the palpable proof that another way exists. They see two people who should have destroyed each other, choosing to destroy the system instead. They witness love that isn't distraction, but direction. They observe partnership that isn't weakness, but weaponization of the highest order. Your twin flame's transformation is still happening, still deepening. Every day, another layer of programming falls away. Every day, another authentic piece of them emerges. Every day, they become more themselves and less what they were made to be. And you hold space for all of it. The guilt, the rage, the relief, the rebirth. They failed. Let that sink in. Their perfect plan, their carefully crafted weapon, their surgical strike at your heart, it all failed. Not only did it fail, it strengthened you in ways they're still trying to comprehend. They gave you a partner who knows all their secrets. They gave you an ally who speaks their language. They gave you a twin flame who chose you over them. The person sent to distract you has become your focus amplifier. The one meant to weaken you has become your strength doubler. The connection designed to derail you has become your fastest track to everything they tried to prevent you from becoming. Every single aspect of their plan has been inverted, reversed, transformed into its opposite. Your twin flame doesn't feel guilt anymore about their original mission. They feel gratitude, because without it you would never have met. Without that assignment they would still be sleeping, Without that infiltration attempt, neither of you would have discovered just how powerful you become together. They tried to use love as a weapon, and instead, love became your shared liberation. Now, when you look at each other, you don't just see reflection, you see revolution. You don't just feel connection, you feel conspiracy in the most beautiful sense. You don't just share love, you share a mission that's bigger than both of you, but impossible without both of you. You're not just partners, you're proof that their entire system is vulnerable to the one thing they never calculated for: authentic connection. Together, you're not just living, you're demonstrating. Every day of your continued existence, every moment of your deepening bond, every instance of your combined power is a beacon to others trapped in the system. Your twin flames' defection wasn't just personal, it was professional in the deepest sense. They didn't just leave their handlers, they took their entire operational knowledge with them. Now you're both recruiters for a different kind of army. Not through force or manipulation, but through demonstration. People see what becomes possible when someone breaks their programming for love. They witness what happens when two weapons decide to become healers instead. They observe the power of two people who choose each other over everything they were told to choose. Your twin flame teaches you patience with those still sleeping because they remember what it was like. You teach them rage at the system that used them because they need permission to feel it. Together, you're creating a new language for resistance. One that includes both the fury of the betrayed and the wisdom of the reformed. The next phase isn't just about your survival or even your thriving. It's about the template you're creating for others. Every converted twin flame agent is another crack in their system. Every authentic connection that replaces an engineered one is another failure of their program. Every couple that follows your example is another revolution beginning. Here's what they'll never admit in their reports. They created their own downfall when they sent your twin flame to you. They thought they were being clever, using love as a Trojan horse, but they forgot that real love, even when it starts as performance, has a way of becoming authentic. They forgot that truth is contagious. They forgot that two souls recognizing each other can override any amount of programming. Your twin flame didn't just wake up, they woke up angry. Not at you, but at those who used them. Not at the mission, but at the manipulation. Not at the connection, but at how it was supposed to be used against you. And that anger, combined with your own, has become something neither of you could generate alone. It's become directed, focused, purposeful rage that knows exactly where to strike. They lost more than an operative when your twin flame turned. They lost faith in their own methods. They lost confidence in their own control. They lost the ability to use connection as a weapon ever again. Because now everyone knows it's possible to turn the weapon back on them. Everyone knows that love can be stronger than programming. Everyone knows that two people united in truth are more powerful than any lie. So let them watch you both now. Let them monitor your every move. Let them try to figure out how to stop what you've started. Because every moment they spend focused on you two is a moment they're not seeing the others waking up. Every resource they dedicate to containing your combined power is a resource not used to maintain their crumbling system. Your twin flame still has moments of remembering their old programming. Moments where the training kicks in automatically. But now, instead of hiding it, they share it with you. This is what I was taught to do in this situation, they'll say. This is how they trained me to respond. And together you decode it, understand it, and develop immunity to it. You're becoming students of each other and teachers simultaneously. Every trigger they still carry from their training becomes a map of the system's psychological infrastructure. Every technique they were taught becomes a lesson in what to watch for in others. Every protocol they remember becomes intelligence you can use. The fusion isn't complete yet, may never be complete. And that's the beauty of it. You're both constantly evolving, constantly teaching each other, constantly discovering new ways to amplify each other's power. The connection isn't static, it's dynamic, growing more sophisticated and more dangerous to the system with each passing day. They're trying to create new protocols now, new ways to use connection against people like you. but they're always one step behind because you have their former architect on your side. Your twin flame knows how they think, how they plan, how they adapt. Every new strategy they develop, your partner can predict. Every new tactic they deploy, your twin flame recognizes the signature.